Oh my, another day talking Nugs, talking about the best team in sports, perhaps. Definitely the best team in basketball.
Oh, don't give away the show.
Oh man, did I just
We
spoil
just
it all?
started.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast.
Let's go. Let's go.
Coming to you live from Studio A on this fine Thursday. A very fall day. I might need to go get myself an Avalanche Amber.
You got to turn the wardrobe over, turn the Breck Brews over. It's fall season.
I might have to
I
do
woke
that.
up and I looked at the weather and I was like, it's 45 degrees out. What the hell?
I got to go winterize my camper.
You have a camper?
I got a camper, man.
I've stayed in his camper.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
I
a
love camping.
camper?
Dude, I got a camper, dude.
How
That's
did
the
I
best.
not
You know
know
I
this?
love camping. Come on now. You know it's like my favorite thing.
But you camp in your camper? You don't do a tent?
Correct. He has a
Oh,
camper.
I've graduated from the tent. I used
Yeah.
to. I grew up
thought for
temp-
this whole time you're camping in tents.
Well, I was to a certain point in my life,
Oh, my
but then you have
God.
kids. You have your wife. No way, man. Now I have
Dude,
nice
this
camping.
changes
It-
everything about Adam the camper.
It makes it better. It makes it way better.
You're not actually camping.
Oh, dude, he's got a shower. He's
Dude,
got
I've got
guest-
a- it's
he's
actually
got a
You're
really
guest
not
nice.
bedroom.
actually camping. This is
Hey,
incredible.
man, it's still camping. It's
Dude,
still camping. It's very
it's
comfortable.
barely
I don't care
camping.
what you call it if the jet skis are there.
That's so
all
true.
that matters.
It's
to me.
barely
Telling you.
camping. Wow,
I'm telling
this
you.
is
Man, see, you're
this
making me
is-
miss summer now. I was
Man.
fine with it. Now you're making me miss
This
it.
is earth shattering.
On today's show,
Wow.
hangover takes from Game 1. I'm so glad we get to relive Game 1 again. For
How do you
segment.
put a hard G in hangover? Hangover. Say it again.
I never knew I
it
pronounced
again.
anything weird till I came on this show. Apparently, I have my own accent. It's like unlike anyone else's. A hangover. Does that
Yeah,
sound weird?
He did it again. Hang. It's a hard G. How does that hard G?
It's this is
All right,
insane.
sorry, I don't want to do the show. Do
We're
the show.
also going to talk about practice today. We're going to be talking about practice, but for the majority of this show, this might be among the smuggest shows we've ever done because I'm watching the debut of all the other teams.
Yeah.
Not named the Nuggets yesterday. I'm flipping through every game. I'm in heaven watching all these games, and I'm looking at these guys going, these guys suck. I'm saying every team I'm watching. So I thought we are going to tier every team in the NBA. We're going to put them in tiers. We're going to start with the Nuggets. Then we're just going to find out, is anybody in their tier? To help me do that, over here, my camping friend, Brendan Vogt.
That's right. I'm in a tier of my own right now. I'm in S tier fall mode. I feel ready to go.
Man, can I a little behind the curtain here? A little behind the scenes. Everyone's going mustache at Never Media today.
Dude,
This is honestly the most
tell
influential
me,
man in the
tell me.
world.
Listen, the main account's tweeting Mr. Nugget. Other people growing mustaches.
Man, I regret giving you a
I'm
compliment.
just saying,
This is
I
why
see what's happening.
People are like, Adam, you never compliment the guy. This is why. I
yeah.
regret every
You gotta
nice
get-
thing
I
I've
just
ever
want to say
said.
I had a mustache for 2 years before Vogt did.
Nobody copied it.
I'm an influencer. I don't know what to tell
I
you.
mean, it's fair, but did
Yeah,
Wolf,
you're-
did Vogt
you're
copy
behind
me
the
is
camera
what I'm
sales.
asking.
That's a great
Did
point.
Vogt
did.
copy me.
It's a great point.
I
It's a
did.
great point.
Yeah.
Over here, no mustache, but still beautiful curly hair, Harrison Wind.
I just got a haircut, so no curls anymore.
There's a little curl. There's a little curl.
But I have to go back to this. Camping in a camper is not camping.
I can't believe we're
That
still
is
here.
not camping.
All right, you know what? I don't care. I enjoy
Okay.
what I do. I don't regret any of my takes, any in life or in general or
Not
anything.
camping.
My decisions, I stand by them. I want to first get into reliving Game 1. I went back and rewatched the game. I actually watched it a couple times because it was so fun. It's like you watch it, and you're like,
It
I'm going
was
to do this
fun,
again.
wasn't it?
I don't even think I'm going to get anything out of it again, but I'm going to watch it. And I have a couple notes, and maybe you guys have some other notes. I know, Harrison, we didn't get your immediate takes other than just on that little bit. But this is going to be a little notebook-y. My first one is, we talked about this obviously on the show, but Jokic really has solved AD. And when you rewatch the game, you see the moments where Jokic really demoralized him. And in those moments, you see the reactions of Darvin Ham and LeBron James in particular. And I think this stood out on rewatch was a lot of Jokic goes down and one on Anthony Davis, makes him look like a child, pan to LeBron, and LeBron's like, kind of just giving the face of like, wow, this is not, that conversation had no impact. And in particular, you start to see where a lot of this is about early positioning of Jokic. And I did a little bit of this on the list, but Anthony Davis, can't keep up with Jokic. It's my number one thing. He just can't. And I think Jokic knows it and knows how to exploit it. The margins are kind of small between Jokic and Anthony Davis, but Jokic drives a wedge into those margins and spreads them out as wide as he can. And what you end up having is nonstop fast breaks for Denver.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many examples of Jokic outrunning Anthony Davis and just running the floor, and Anthony Davis is like nowhere to be seen. And it's so funny. You think of the athlete, the modern day quote unquote big man that Anthony Davis is, and you think of what Nikola Jokic is, and Jokic just outruns him. He runs him into the ground. And you talk about Jokic mastering Anthony Davis and figuring out Anthony Davis. Do you remember what happened on the first post-up of the game for Nikola Jokic?
Davis blocked
Anthony Davis blocked his shot.
Sure,
but
yeah.
Jokic gets
Anthony
it.
Davis blocked him. From that point on, though, Nikola Jokic owned him.
Yeah.
He dominated him.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he really did figure him out after that first play.
But I mean, and somebody like chirped back at me on Twitter and was like, he figured him out in the conference finals. Yes, he did. My point is, though, you think, okay, well, they had conversations, they brought in
Right.
new players, they spent a little more time on it. It's like, it doesn't matter. It actually is no longer about the game plan. That's what I mean about solved.
Yeah.
It's like, there are no more adjustments. You're out. It's called checkmate. You're checkmate.
What was funny to me, though, is that the Lakers had an entire offseason.
Yeah.
They had time for a lot of conversations, we were told. Yet they came into game one of the season. They knew they were playing the Nuggets well in advance. They knew they were starting Anthony Davis at center, even though he has said he no longer wants to play center. I don't blame him if he's playing against Jokic every time.
What if that was actually just a save face? He's like, I don't want to be a center. 'cause
Did
he
Darvin
knows-
Ham not read the media that day? Was he not on social media that day when Anthony Davis declared he's not playing center anymore? But the Lakers had all this time to prepare for the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic, and they rolled out there with the same game plan that they had for game one of the Western Conference Finals.
Well, this is kind of part of why the conversations quote was such instant fodder fed to us, right? We didn't have to go hunting for that one. First of all, I don't even think they have a scheme fix. But second of all, it definitely wasn't a motivation fix.
Right, yeah.
It was like you guys actually can't guard them for some basketball reasons. And I'm with you that it looked just like the Western Conference Finals, especially in that competitive for 3 quarters, except when the starters took the floor for closing time, there were levels to this.
It was actually worse than the Western Conference
Yeah.
Finals.
It was,
At
yeah.
least in game one of the Western Conference Finals, Anthony Davis lasted 3 quarters
Yeah.
Yeah.
on Nikola Jokic. He didn't even make it to halftime guarding him the other night.
And Jokic was spectacular in the conference final. He hit hard shots, and he
Yeah.
still hit them. This one, like, he walked to his spot, layup, and what?
It was
either
just
a layup or an and one.
post up, I'll drive by you.
But the transition part of this is big to me, and Vogt had a great take. I want to give you the floor to kind of articulate, because I think this take about why Jokic murders AD in transition is really interesting.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think Jokic is one of the best we've ever seen at calculated aggressiveness and minimizing wasted movement.
Yeah.
So even when he scores, you think about the physical work that goes into him scoring. Like, he's almost never accelerating unless he has to. He's not wasting time with a lot of dribbles. Even defensively, sometimes you see, okay, was he late to get over there to contest the shot? Well, he's not jumping because he doesn't need the foul. He definitely doesn't need the contact, and he doesn't need to exhaust himself, because for Jokic, as opposed to other centers, he has bigger fish to fry throughout that game. One of the biggest things about Jokic's game, to me, is that in the modern NBA, running the floor for 7-footers, as much as they have to, and the way they have to guard guys, they're all gassed by the fourth quarter. Yeah. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
I find Jokic is less so than they are, and I think a lot of it is because he doesn't waste any movement. And then he also the crate
and contrast that to AD, he does 10 burpees a day because he falls down and has to jump back up and sprint.
Right.
It's like he's wasting double the energy of what Jokic is.
And even if the shot goes in, then you fell over. Well, Jokic's already underneath the basket. He's put the ball back in play, and he's running. And so, yeah, you scored, but you fell over. Maybe you're hurt. You're more tired, and now they've got a fast break the other way. And then I'm just glad you brought up the transition thing. It's the number one way he kills AD, but it's also just the thing he does better than any other high-profile center in the league. He runs the floor so well. The only other guy that maybe runs the floor like that is Bam, and that's because he's 6'9". He's a fake center.
Yeah.
So Jokic is a true big, and I think even still, we underrate his conditioning, but also like a late stage LeBron, it's the calculated part. It's this is when I turn it on, and this isn't worth it because they need me in the final 5. I think he's got such a mastery of that.
Yeah, I think both of those takes are spot on. I absolutely love them. And the play that highlights Jokic's economy of motion the most was one of my favorite plays of the entire game, where he's thrown a pass. 2 defenders, I think one's Austin Reeves. It's like Austin Reeves. It's like small defenders because he had a mismatch, so the help comes hard to sandwich him. And rather than just grab the ball, he tips it to himself, walks over to another spot where no one is, and now it's a wide open layup. Whereas most people will grab that one, come down, and now you've got to power it through 2 guys or whatever. And somehow he's like, you know what'll be easier? Just tap it over here, grab it, and go. And then the other one is Anthony Davis. There's one play, and I think it also made the list, which is there's a fast break. Somebody shoots a jumper, and Anthony Davis winds up like he's going to put back dunk it. If it comes off the rim wrong, he's going to go. So he loads up all of his energy, jumps, and the ball bounces a different direction. And what's funny about that is it's like the ball bounces right. He gets a highlight. Anthony Davis is him, number 1 on SportsCenter, all that stuff. But if he's wrong, it's a fast break the other way, and you just used way too much motion to put yourself out of position. Well, guess which way the ball bounced? And that's the kind of thing that Yoke never does. Yoke never goes, this is kind of dumb, but if it breaks right, it's going to be dope.
Why would he ever do that?
Right. and it's...
Why would anybody?
But what's funny is because initially some of the comparisons between him and these other guys is that, well, Jokic can't do that stuff.
Right.
They can and he can't. And I would say... So what? To what end, right? Are they just exhausting themselves? And does it mean more than what he provides offensively? It's those guys are so much better than him as athletes and defenders in terms of what they can do. But what does it add up to?
What this all comes down to and what it comes back to is Nikola Jokic is playing a different game than everybody else out there.
Yeah. Yep.
He's playing a different game.
Nobody does that tap pass.
He's
Yoke does it all the
almost
time.
playing a different sport. It's different because he plays basketball in a way that is not taught here in the States.
Yeah.
He's playing a different game.
And I do wonder if...
And it's a better game.
I do wonder if some people are just working too hard. Like on the wrong stuff and putting all the energy into the wrong places. And watching
well,
Jokic
it happened in this game, not on a Jokic per se, but Gabe Vincent trying to get in, or no, D'Angelo Russell trying to get into Jamal Murray. Because remember, D'Lo's whole thing was like over the summer, I'm going to work on my defense. And you can tell...
I'm going to be Derek White.
The difference... He thinks that working on his defense is just fouling Jamal Murray before the ball gets inbound. It's like the dumbest way to work on your defense.
Right.
It is hard, but not effective.
Well, how about Gabe Vincent?
Same thing.
Gabe Vincent comes into the game and he's like, "Oh, we're in game 5 of the finals. I'm on the Heat. I'm just gonna foul the shit out of Jamal Murray and rough him up." Boom, 3 fouls in 5 minutes.
Murray's too seasoned for that, man. That's what you do to Jamal Murray 5 years ago.
Like, come on, man.
Anyway, Jokic, other note I have in here, his 3-pointer was a real weapon in this game. He knew exactly how to use it. I do think that so much of this is about Jokic's mind frame. I do hope that he takes more threes this year, just because I think he's good enough to, and it'd be interesting. It's a different wrinkle. The switch bench lineup is... one of the things that's underrated about having a switch lineup, and it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but if you get a stop, if you are able to switch, and by the way, their switches were great. Switching is not just like mindless. You have to think about when to switch, where to position, and these different things. And I thought that group was ready for that and executed it at a well above game 1 level. But one of the hidden benefits is if you have a switchy lineup, you don't mind switching. But if the other team doesn't have a switch everything lineup, as they did not, having Jackson Hayes on the court at parts, Christian Wood on the court at parts, Gabe Vincent, who's tiny on the court at parts, what happens is, okay, well, Zeke switches on to Gabe Vincent. You get a stop. Well, now Gabe Vincent's guarding Zeke the other direction, and Denver had a lot, especially early on, switch, good stop, go in transition, Zeke draws a foul in transition because Gabe Vincent's like, I need help down here.
And I think a lot of teams, opposing benches... Okay, how do we score? It's maybe not our same offense. It's definitely not our same guys. Well, the easiest way is we have our 1-6 man. Let's find a mismatch. Let's exploit it.
Right.
But when you have a switchable thing, you can sort of bait them into almost working too hard to do that instead of just playing basketball. And like that's where you saw Zeke's value pop, right? Like, did he have a great game in the box score? Absolutely not. But how many times did they see Zeke on the switch and they're like, okay, this is what we should do.
Right.
And it's I mean, you can score on Zeke.
This part is huge, though.
You can score on Zeke, but it's not. You get them out of what they want to do, and you drag them into what you want to do, and that's the blueprint.
This was another note I was just getting to, is that it does lure teams into bad offensive process. One, because it's hard to score against switching lineups unless you have great passers and cutters. Like Denver, I think switching off ball against Denver, I put another thing on the list. It's so hard to do because the switch right at the handoff, if the handoff's not perfect, I mean, two defenders, like, all right, we switch now. If it's not perfect, that slip to the basket is Jokic threading the window, and it's a layup. But most teams don't have that. They don't have a player. And I think one of the reasons LeBron was mad, you guys saw the video where he's mad at D'Angelo Russell saying, when I'm on the elbow, I see everything. Get me the ball.
You think that would have come up in their off-season conversations?
They must have missed the conversation.
Yeah,
the conversation wasn't
there.
long enough for that.
Yeah.
Because it was a hilarious clip that people were posting where LeBron is in the huddle saying, hey, man, when I get to the elbow, give me the ball because I see everything, and then you guys can cut off me. And D'Angelo Russell, the next play, sees him on the elbow and goes,
Takes a three.
Three-pointer?
Even in that clip,
Conversation did not get through to him.
Even in that clip,
Terrible three, by the way. Horrible attempt.
D'Lo misses the point before they even get on the court. LeBron's like, because when I get the ball on the elbow, D'Lo's like, you're too close to the basket. LeBron's like, no, I can see everything. I can see everything.
That's not like a ground-breaking, earth-shattering piece of basketball knowledge.
Dude, I'm telling you.
You have
this
the ball
stuff
to be
is
on the
hilarious.
elbow, and I can run the offense.
I think D'Lo's that far behind, man.
Yeah, he really might
he
be.
needs more conversations, bro.
But in the first stint with the second unit, I don't think they gave up an easy basket in the half court. They did. Some transition wasn't great. We'll talk about that in the next segment.
Yep.
But in the half court, I thought they made the Lakers work really, really hard for bad shots and completely destroyed their rhythm. You know, they're excited about Christian Wood. They're excited about Jackson Hayes. Both of those guys almost rendered useless in this game. Wood had one really good spin move and dunk on.
Wood had a couple
Christian
moments
Brown.
against the bench.
Yeah.
In the second stint in particular, but in that first one, it was a lot of like just them looking around and being like, we are not exactly sure what we're supposed to attack here. And I love that for that second unit. I think it has a real identity. Let's take a break. On the other side, a couple more notes from this game that I think are stories that are starting to develop, as well as some notes from practice.
I think you just got ball sacked by that clip.
Which one?
Per the chat.
No, it was just apparently the order is different. So the three
I
happened
see.
first,
That-
and
that
then
makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it actually doesn't
You know
matter.
what?
You
Same
want to know what
point.
I was going to say? It
Yeah.
actually doesn't matter because they only got LeBron the ball on the elbow out of that action one time.
Right.
One time.
Right. It didn't.
So whether-
the conversation did not lead to any
that's
constructive.
and that's the really important point is they didn't solve that issue.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, check out the Kind Love Immaculate Vibes custom joint pack from us here at DNVR. The Immaculate Vibes 5 joint pack, just $25. And then, of course, you can use the code DNVR. Get 25% off your in-store purchases at Kind Love. The Immaculate Vibes 5 joint pack available in indica and sativa. Again, use that code DNVR. Get 25% off your purchase. It's available at both Kind Love locations. Visit one of the Kind Love stores in Cherry Creek next to PetSmart and Target off Alameda, or North Denver. Mention DNVR. Get the DNVR exclusive discount, 25% off all Immaculate Vibes and all Kind Love flower pre-rolls and their turbo joint line. You can also visit their website, kindlove.com, browse their entire collection there. Remember, use that code DNVR for online ordering and viewing their full extensive menu.
I filmed the promo for Kind Love. I
thought that was you. I didn't know who it was, but I assumed it was you.
I left the office early that day. Hey, Game Time is dope. Game Time is helping some people get in the best events in Denver, from your favorite comedy shows to music to, I don't know, the Denver Nuggets fellas. Does that sound? The defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets or the Colorado Avalanche, who are looking to go 7-0. When you realize last second there's something going downtown, get yourself there with Game Time. The best prices on the best seats at the last second. Download the Game Time app now and get yourself to all the great events in Denver and get $20 off as well with code DNVR.
And we are back, segment 2. We're going over some hangover takes from a beautiful game 1 for your Denver Nuggets. Smacking, humiliating, clowning the Lakers. And I got to say, the more I think about it, I love the energy the Ball Arena has for this, man. I just love it. I honestly think it matches our own confidence. Like you beat a team and you're still a little afraid of them. Maybe you tone it down, you go to a certain level. Ball Arena saying, nope, let's take this to 11. We don't need to like no brakes, all gas, no brakes, because this team can't beat us. And do you feel this way? We compared them to the Clippers in the Winners Lounge, where it's like at a certain point the Nuggets beat the Clippers and then just owned them, to where it was like, no man, we're better, we're in their head, and they are now afraid of us. I feel like last night might have been a turning point to where the Lakers are like, all right, so we got to find a different route.
100%. I think the Nuggets are in the Lakers' heads a little bit. I think Nuggets fans are also in Lakers fans' heads a little bit.
No, that part is for sure true.
Actually, a lot bit.
A lot of it.
But
Although, you know what? I didn't see a whole lot the last 24 hours.
they're awfully quiet.
They're awfully quiet.
They're awfully quiet. They got to focus on, the Suns tonight. But, no, I mean, remember, coming into opening night, the narrative was, the talk was, like, this is a game the Lakers are getting up for, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game they have circled. They want to come into Denver. They want to ruin Nuggets ring night. That's what they wanted to do. They've had these conversations. They've been game planning. They've been scheming. That taste of that 4-0 sweep in the conference finals is still in their mouth. They listen to all the Nuggets talk over the summer, yada, yada. They're going to come in here and ruin Nuggets ring night. And the Nuggets are up 15 in the first quarter.
Right.
The game was over. It felt over very early on. And if you're the Lakers, that's got to be demoralizing.
Yeah.
And if you're the Nuggets, that is a huge confidence booster.
Yeah.
And I think going forward, the Nuggets believe that the Lakers have no answer for them. And they are going to have an incredible amount of confidence coming into every one of these matchups. And I love that now when the Lakers play the Nuggets, they're not going to want to play the Nuggets, and they're especially not going to want to come to Denver and deal with Nuggets fans.
We got to keep it moving here. So I thought Michael Porter, one of my notes, his on-ball defense remains really good, I think. His running off of screens defense, I think, looked really bad last night. And you talk about a guy stiff. He looked stiff last night. Not the strongest guy. And also, I think with the ankle injury, you just wonder, like, teams running him off screens is the way to attack him. I don't think teams fully understand that just yet, because they still try to ISO him, and I just think that ISOing Michael Porter is now no longer a valid strategy. And so we saw that with D'Angelo Russell. We saw that with a couple guys.
Well, he said he had a grade 3 ankle sprain, which is torn ligaments.
That can't be, man.
He simply would not be
which is
playing.
a month, like over a month, a couple month rehab.
It'd be irresponsible for him to play in that game.
But I mean, Malone even made it sound like today that the ankle is still, it's bothering him maybe a tiny bit.
Oh, I think it is. I think you could see it in that game for sure. And I think, look, it's 3 back surgeries first, then there's drop foot, then he's got a sprained ankle, and he missed the preseason. I bet he does look rough going through screens, and I would run him through a lot if I were If I were Memphis.
That's the thing, is I don't know how much teams are going to start doing that, because I mentioned this as a weakness I saw in his game, but it didn't cost the Nuggets really. But that isn't a thing to kind of keep your eye on. Jamal Murray's pick and roll game remains so refined. I thought Murray, in hindsight, really stood out in a positive way. I mean, we talked about him and how we thought he looked good despite the numbers not being that great, 21-6 and 2, I think. But yet it felt like a good game. And 2 things. His shots were right on time. I say this about KCP all the time. He doesn't score a lot, but he's always right on time. Would need a 3? There's KCP. He stepped up and made the 3 when they needed it the most. I thought Murray in this game had 2 moments where he was scoring the ball really well, and they both came right on time when Denver needed him.
Yeah, it was a classic Jamal Murray game from that respect, I thought. And like going into the season where how many points can Jamal Murray average? Well, he could have scored a lot more last night, but the game he likes to play is scoring like when the Nuggets need it and turning on that extra gear when they really need it. And it was, from that respect, it was a classic Murray game.
You remember the Ray Allen 3 that he had in that game? The back up to the 3-point line right in front of the, and that was a big moment.
That was also his purest make of the night.
Yeah,
it's something about Jamal. He's like, I have no time to think about this, and it's not going to go in.
And also, where was
Cash.
it? Do you remember where it was?
It was in the corner.
Right in front of the bench.
Oh.
Right in front of the Lakers bench, right? So right in front of the Lakers bench at a moment when the Lakers were like, are we in this? And then Jamal backs up, hits an impossible 3, and looks at him and is like, no.
I also think he's whittled down his outside of the offense I'm getting you to to the point where I love them now. Like when he decides I've got an edge,
totally.
I'm backing someone down, and here comes the fadeaway long two. I'm like, that's going in every time. Whereas 5 years ago, it was, do they need this right now? I'm not so sure. But right now, I'm like, okay, he got to his spot, bucket.
Yeah,
And
you
so
just
much
trust that if he's taking a shot, it's because he feels the
that's
right
what
way.
I'm saying, yeah.
But his pick and roll game was just so refined. I'm so mad. I cut these clips for the list. Then, like an old man, couldn't find the file again, and I found it late. So I didn't actually analyze it. But there was a nice sequence in the first half that perfectly demonstrated all the little subtleties that a point guard does to make. I talk about. On the list, I show how Denver ran the same action 4 times in a row at the end of the game and got different looks out of each one. It's actually very common for a team. This is kind of how you game plan. A team will go into a game knowing, like, early on, we're going to run this action. Then they'll have timeout plays where they'll, out of a timeout, they'll say, okay, we're going to run this play and we're going to run it 3 times. We're going to run it here, then we're going to run it this way, then we're going to run it that way. Or they'll say, just read it or whatever. And then you almost always have your closing 5 minutes. This is how we're going to close. This is how we beat the team in the clutch. Denver, I highlighted the one in the fourth quarter that worked unbelievably, 10 points in 4 possessions. It was like unbelievable to watch. That's why I watched that game and I'm like, the Lakers are solved. It's over.
Yeah.
That's the most important part of the game, and Denver looked like the Globetrotters. But early in the game, Murray, same play, and all 3 times it was Murray that set the table to get Denver the great looks out of it, and they score on 2 of them. He gets fouled on a 3-on-1. Do you remember the 3 where he gets hit in the arm and it's an air ball and they just didn't call it?
Okay, were you still in the building for that one?
I think so, but I did see the replay.
You could hear that slap from
Not
where I was sitting.
Yeah, you had better seats than me.
Like, how do you hear that and you just don't call it?
Do you guys feel like both Jokic and Jamal in the first 5 minutes of that game, in a way I haven't seen before, kind of went to the refs and were like, we're not doing this year.
Yeah, we're not doing it this year.
We're not doing it this, and I kind of think it worked.
But I'm telling you, Murray's control, I said this on the list, and I said it, and I'm like, do I believe that actually? You ever do that?
Yeah.
I said, I kind of have him like Jokic now, where he manipulates everything so perfectly and subconsciously that he's not even thinking. He just knows, I got to set him up right to go left on this thing. I got to stutter here to go. He just does everything so well. And that end of first quarter pass he has where he splits 2 defenders, goes to the lane, passes it like this to the corner, and it swings over to Reggie. Reggie hits the dagger. And then, by the way, he does that. And as soon as he does it, he puts his hand up like this because it was Jokic-esque in that he's walking to the thing. The defense is all doing stuff, and he's like, nope, tied you in a knot. Now you're out of position, and we have a wide open 3. And he knew it. And I don't know if I believe he's actually Jokic tier yet at this, but he's as close as you can get. You know, he's close enough.
I think he and Aaron Gordon, the way I would frame it, is you can see Jokic rubbing off on them. You really can. It's just they're playing more like his teammates and supporting players than ever before. And they already were doing that at a high level.
The real test is going to be, I want to see him run point more in the second unit.
Me too.
I do wonder how much of that is managing his own fatigue. Do you want him with the ball in his hands that much for 34 minutes? Are you trying? No, Jamal Murray. Like when
Jamal.
Reggie and him were out there, I thought the possessions Murray ran the offense were phenomenal. I thought including with Reggie, he played really well off of Jamal. But I thought the moments where Jamal was off ball, he kind of he's not involved. It's almost like he's just taking the whole possessions off. And I don't know if that's by design because it's like, hey man, I can't go.
We talked about that after every game last
Yeah,
and
so maybe that.
playing alongside Reggie has to guard, so it's a lot.
So 2 last ones. Christian Brown on his drives looked rusty. I thought Christian Brown looked good, but his drives in particular, that's the part I'm very excited to see, and I thought he looked like a guy that missed training camp. But the most important note I have, the most effective half-court action that the Lakers had featured LeBron as the role guy. And LeBron as the role guy is not going to beat, I don't think it's going to beat the Nuggets. I think Denver can handle it. But LeBron and Giannis are the same in that way. That it's like a playmaking, big, athletic guy on the roll. And it's just something to file away that, look, it's game 1 of the Nuggets. They were game planning for the Lakers, not the Bucks. But it is worth noting that that's the one thing Denver sort of struggled with in the half court.
Well, especially when LeBron was going against the Nuggets bench.
Yeah.
And that's one of the stretches where he got rolling was when he was getting defended by Christian Brown, Peyton Watson.
And it was Reggie a lot. He was hunting the Reggie switch and then getting Reggie on the rolls.
But you got nobody on the court with the default bench unit that can check LeBron.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's an issue.
A couple practice notes. Here's my big one. I always love when Michael Malone echoes something we talk about on this show. And he was asked
This is a crazy one, man.
the Peyton Watson one?
Yeah.
Because he's talked about, hey, when I came into camp, he said something like Peyton thought he had. You can go ahead and tell this.
What Michael Malone said today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael Malone, well, I asked him about playing Peyton Watson in the opener, like what went into the decision. And he goes, yeah, like I did have options. And he said that he felt Peyton Watson came into the season thinking he was automatically getting minutes on the second unit. And that was kind of his attitude. And the talk Michael Malone had with him was, yeah, I'm going to give you minutes at the beginning of the season, but you've got to earn them. You've got to keep them. You got to play well enough to keep them. They're not going to be given to you automatically. And I mean, that's kind of something we've talked about and maybe danced around a little bit, that we all kind of felt like P. Watt.
That was the guy.
Yeah. We felt like he thought he was definitely the guy.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to hear it come from Malone that he also got that sense that Peyton thought, yeah, it's my job. Like, I already got it locked down.
But there's a second part to this vote, and that is the other part. What did Jokic tell Peyton his job was this year?
You got to do all the
things
that
nobody else wants to do. And more importantly, my biggest critique of Peyton Watson from the preseason was I just didn't feel like he was emptying the tank on that. I felt like he was managing himself to have a little in the tank to do the other parts. And I think what Malone was saying today, and he kind of said it as much, was we just need him to play as hard as he can when he's out there. And he did that in game one, by the way. He said he played really hard in this one.
Yeah,
but
he liked how he played
But
in
he
game
kind
one.
of said he didn't always do that. And to me, that's the only thing Peyton needs to succeed. Just go out there and play as hard as you possibly can every second.
What else did Malone say about Peyton, too? I'm going to coach him hard this year. I'm going to be hard on Peyton this year. And that was another thing we talked about. Some parallels with the Mike path, and it's not the same thing,
right?
But a little bit of like, maybe he does need to go through that process of what they want him to understand is that the best version of himself is a finished product that helps the Denver Nuggets win titles, not, some idea that you had of yourself in high school, right? And so I'm not necessarily saying Peyton has a misunderstanding of that. I'm just saying as a once high-profile young player, that's where he's at. And so I thought it was really cool to hear Malone just state it explicitly. We're going to be hard on this kid. And I think with Mike, we were also quick to protect him, but he responded very well to it. And that's Peyton's test. Is Peyton going to be a guy that's coachable in this way? Hopefully the answer is yes.
Yeah, I love it. I want Mike Malone to be hard on him. I want him to coach him hard because – like, you can either get to a point where you can contribute on a team that's trying to go back to back, or you're not ready.
Right.
And,
But
we'll see which one he is.
Malone said this, though, not as if he was critiquing Peyton, because we're almost making it sound like Peyton needs a lesson here. I think Michael Malone today more had the tone of, this is the challenge for him this year. It's not that he has passed or failed yet. It's just that this is what he needs to do. He needs to understand that his job is not to go out there and look good in transition, to make threes in the corner, to run pick and roll as a ball handler. If he does those things, great. But Malone even said, I don't even talk to him about his shots or anything. It's just, are you playing hard and are you staying disciplined defensively? And to me, Peyton Watson will make it in this league big time if he just starts with the foundation of being the hustle guy. He's not always going to be locked into that role, but just start with that one. You're going to end up playing 15, 20 minutes a night, being an impact player in the playoffs, and then you build on top of that with the skills.
Just look at what Christian Brown did last year.
Right.
Just look at it. It's not hard.
Yep. All right. Do you have any other notes from practice that you wanted to go over? It wasn't this most meaty thing here. I will say Malone did point something out that I find very interesting. Yes, this is a different Grizzlies team, than it was last year. But they did have the best home record last year.
Yes, they
Denver's
did.
going on the road. One of the points of emphasis was we need to be a better road team. I actually think this is a perfect second game of the season and first road game. I think Lakers were a perfect home game.
Yes.
They came in all angry, ready to make a
Absolutely.
point, and instead Denver made the point. Perfect. Nailed it. Now I think it's a perfect road game in that it's, in my opinion, a beatable but good team. Denver's probably a slight underdog and a team that was very good at home. And now it's like, well, let's see if we actually are the team we all think we are, and the team we're going to pretend this Nuggets team is as we tier them in the next segment.
Guys, check out Breckenridge Brewery. Breck Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. The beer of the month here at the DNVR bar is the Broncos Country Pale Ale. Get it for $6 all month long. Breck Brew, they got a beer for every type of occasion. There's no better way to watch a game than having some Breck Brew. If you don't know where to get it, check out the Breck Brew Beer Locator. Just go to their website, type in your zip code. It shows you exactly where to get Breckenridge Brew no matter where you are. If you're local, stop into the bar. Avalanche Amber, I think it's officially Avalanche Amber season.
It is, baby.
Broncos Country Pale Ale, like I said. Good Company Hard Seltzer if you like seltzers. Juice Drop IPA, one of my favorites, the only IPA I like. So check out Breck Brew, the official beer of DNVR.
If you've been hurt at work, or you've been hurt in a car accident, or you've been hurt even as a pedestrian, and most importantly, it's not your fault. It may be confusing, disorienting, upsetting, but stay calm. There's one very simple step. You call Backus and Shanker at 222-2222, or you head to coloradolaw.net, and here's why you do it. They're not going to charge you just to talk about it. They're actually not going to charge you to take on your case. They won't charge you until they've won your case. And they do win. They've won over $1 billion for their clients over the years. So again, if you've been hurt in a car accident as a pedestrian or at work and it isn't your fault, call our guys Backus and Shanker. They win, baby. 222-2222.
What was that reaction for it?
Oh, I'll tell you here in a second. In one quick second.
Okay.
Real quickly, I do want to say, everybody, do us a favor. Hit that like button. If you're watching this show not live, leave us a comment in the chat. Let us know what you think about this last game. Do you agree with our takes so far? Has Jokic solved AD? Do they look like they're in a tier of their own? Let us know all of those things. And if you have not, we have not received a rating or review on Apple Podcasts lately. It's been like a couple months. So if you're enjoying the show and you want to do something that's very easy to support us, do that. Go ahead and leave a rating and review. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll appreciate it. My reaction was, I said before the break, they'll probably be underdogs going into Memphis. So I hopped on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Or Bet365.
No, today DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay. And I never miss. And
it'd be nice to have the logo up. But.
And I see that the Nuggets are actually 3.5-point favorites. 3.5-point favorites tomorrow on the road. It's against a Memphis team that had the best home record last year. Are the Nuggets having a moment here? Going full Bill Simmons.
Yeah, they are. I
What's the line?
3.5 Nuggets
on the road.
I mean, Memphis is like tier 4, for being honest.
We'll get there. Don't step on the show. They don't have Steven Adams, though, and that really does matter. I guess they can still go Xavier Tillman and then Jaren Jackson Jr., sagging off AG, which is a good strategy, so another good test for Denver in that way. But, yeah, man, they're that much better than everyone. If you don't have your starting center, I'm cool with Denver being favored in that game.
Yeah. All right, let's get into some tiers, though. Because, like I said, we all were watching basketball the last couple days. Obviously, the Nuggets game yesterday, a full slate. We're gonna get there. Just save your
energy.
No, they look good. Save your energy. Save your energy.
Sorry.
I want a tier. Pull up the sheet real quick, Kale, so everybody can see. You know how this works. S tier, A tier. We did this. We're gonna place all of these teams into tiers, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start, guys. And I'm gonna be bold. The Denver Nuggets are an S-tier team. There is nobody that is above them.
No shit.
I'm starting with the easy part first here. I've seen enough. One game, I see what they can do. I see the vision. They won a championship. They went 16-4. I'll tell you this. Me and Vogt were having a good laugh on the way home the other day. Like, car pulling home. And I say, dude, this team, all right. There's that stat that the starting 5 didn't lose to a Western Conference team all of last year or in the playoffs. There's the stat that the fourth quarter defense is ridiculous. The clutch time numbers are ridiculous. They got the best player. Somehow everybody, they're third in the betting odds. Like, how did we get so lucky that we get to run it back? This is hilarious. Denver's clearly an S-tier team, and everyone's acting like they're somehow flawed. Show me the flaw.
The only thing better than 16-4 is 16-4, and everyone thinks that it was Game 7 in every single series.
Well, Adam, they lost Bruce Brown.
They did lose Bruce Brown.
They lost Bruce Brown. They could not pay him.
But even that, perfect for the narrative.
Who is going to be the Bruce Brown replacement?
But here we go. Narratives are set on night 1. What did Bruce Brown do? Career high. Poor Denver. They let him go.
Yeah,
they let him go.
I love it.
Nobody ever said he was a Jokic merchant. We never would have said that.
No.
My gosh. No. He's not a Jokic merchant. He's a good player.
Maybe just a little bit.
But. Denver's S tier. All right. Dallas Mavericks.
Wait, whoa, we're going to Dallas?
Hang
on.
No. I'm not putting them in order.
Okay.
I'm asking you. I'm going in alphabetical order.
Because I haven't defined my C, D, and F yet.
I feel like we need to go like put up a worse team to get a little bit of our bearings here.
That's what
You guys want the worst team, the Washington Wizards.
Cool.
They might win 10 games.
Put
this
them in
year.
the F tier.
The Washington Wizards are a really bad team. They're F tier. Let's just go ahead and do it. That's a little calibration.
Should we go worst to best? What?
No,
sorry.
I just want to go in order here, and you can add these in, okay? We're going to do the Western Conference first. So I got Dallas. I don't know if you guys saw Lively. Here's the thing. Lively was supposed to be a top guy. Wasn't necessarily great in his year in college, but the guy's a super athlete and a super roll threat. Luka Doncic is probably the most difficult to guard pick and roll with a lob threat guy. I think they found a guy that is going to be an actual impact offensive player. I think Yoke's going to score 50 on him. But you know what? Luka Doncic pick and roll is a scary one. They might have found something there. That being said, for me, Dallas was not an A-tier team. They're certainly not S. Not an A-tier team. I think Dallas is a B-tier team.
I'd probably put them in C, but I'm fine with B.
Tentative B. I'm with Wind. I want to see how the rest of the list shakes out.
I mean, they were playing the Spurs.
Hey, Wembanyama?
Who doesn't know?
Wait, so you say C. If you go C, that's okay. I might have. They're BC.
It doesn't look like Wembanyama knows how to play basketball.
Well, that
right
might
now.
be true too.
Here's what they have going for them. Stash Luka is powerful.
Gosh damn it.
Because he did all that and then he dropped an F-bomb in the interview with a stash. And I'm like, Luka is like if Jokic smoked cigarettes and went to clubs during his peak.
I love Luka. I can't.
It's like
not
Alex
like him.
Ovechkin and Jokic had a baby.
Yeah, B or C.
B.
I mean, they almost lost to the Spurs.
They did almost lose to the Spurs.
Their crunch time looked better. They were on the road.
I will tell you this. They are on C watch though. They're on C watch.
Yeah, they're like B2.
Sacramento Kings.
Tier 2, Tier B.
This is a tough one. Sacramento Kings.
Tier 1, C3.
I mean, Sacramento is probably B for me. But if we have Dallas in B, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's room in a tier to be a little gap.
I'll put them in B for sure. Although I'm with Win that's a tough start for Dallas. I don't think they're on the Kings level. They do have a better.
They're not. The Kings are. I think the Kings are clearly in a different tier.
The Sacramento Kings cooked last night. It was the Jazz. Not exactly a juggernaut. No point guard on the Jazz. And also Harrison Barnes didn't miss a shot till halftime. He had 33 points. I don't think that'll happen too often. He is a good player, but that being said, I think I'm with you guys. I think they're B tier to me. Luka's so good that he's weighing Dallas up. This is the thing.
The chat
I agree
thinks
with that.
mostly B. Some votes for A, but they're not A.
The Phoenix Suns 1-0. They get a win against the Golden State Warriors. They murdered them. Then they collapsed. Then they pulled it out in the clutch. This is the one game I haven't watched. All these other games I caught some part
Yeah,
of.
I
because we
watched
were
the
working.
fourth quarter of
We
it.
were working.
Yeah.
I'll put the Suns in A, tentative. I think
They're not S.
No, they're not S. They have to prove they're S, and then they also have to prove they're not B. To be honest, because of the injury floor. But just
Yeah,
just kidding.
I would actually agree. There's a chance they finish the season as B, but they're A for me right now.
Yeah.
because I did watch the fourth quarter of that game, and Devin Booker is fucking unreal.
So I came prepared for a hot take that Devin Booker might be the third best player in the NBA.
I like
You've
that
got
take.
Jokic, you got Giannis, who I do think clear. And that Devin Booker to me was like, he's up there. I kind of feel like he's got a little bit of like loser.
He's better
in him.
than Tatum, I'd say.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Actually, here's the real take. What is the difference? I mean, one's taller and skinnier, but like Booker is just as smooth and maybe a little bit better.
Well,
so
vote. What's the difference?
Yeah, all right. I mean, like AD's,
agreed for
AD's
1
a
second.
better
I'm like,
defender
yeah.
than Jokic
What am I
too. Like,
talking
who gives a
about? Come on.
shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Devin Booker's better than Tatum, and I think Booker is. Jason Tatum is Booker's a half point guard, and Jason Tatum is a please don't double me guy.
yeah.
You know?
Devin Booker, watching that fourth quarter of the opener, man, he has kind of just mastered offensive basketball.
He's a
really
beast,
is.
man.
He gets whatever shot he wants. He's so fluid. He's so fundamentally sound. Like he is a joy to watch, man.
Yeah.
That guy is a bucket.
I think
and he's
Suns-
also out tonight with a foot injury.
He does need to have more playoff moments. Like those two games are amazing. He's terrible in
Yeah,
elimination
it's got to be a little
games.
better in
It's
elimination.
got to be better in elimination games. That's where Tatum does have an edge. Tatum is very good in those moments, but I do think Booker scares me more than Jason Tatum.
Booker, he's a good player, man. He's a good player. I honestly think that this is a take for you guys. KCP did a good job in games 5 and 6, kind of getting into him. Booker didn't he roll an ankle or something in Game 5 or something? So maybe there's like an out. If you're a Phoenix fan, you can kind of be like, well, we'll see how he was cooking Denver to a point.
Yeah.
I wonder if Christian Brown needs to be the Devin Booker guy. I kind of wonder if that is the thing about when we look at and say, well,
Send
Devin,
him to Browntown.
is it possible that Devin Booker has a repeat of what he had in the playoffs this last year? Which, if he does, man, that was a very impressive first 4 games of that series from Devin Booker.
Yeah,
maybe
for sure.
he has 7 of those games in him, against Denver. I think Christian Brown, though, is a guy that has the length, the size, and maybe even a Peyton Watson. Like, I'm curious if Denver has a Booker stopper, waiting in the wings.
Yeah, it might be Christian Brown.
No.
Out of anybody, it's probably him.
I think it's a good fit too. I also think so far, some of the ways where you've seen Devin Booker come up short in elimination games, also when guys start chirping. There's a famous picture of Luka looking up at Booker. Booker
yeah.
seems quiet. Now I know CB's a long way away from really letting himself shine in that way. But yeah, man, D him up, talk some trash, get in his head. I think that could be a CB role.
Oklahoma City. They get the win on opening night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looks exactly like we kind of expected. And so does Jalen Williams. Chet looked okay. What do we think here?
Thunder?
They're personally B tier for me. I love the Thunder. I'm picking them to be a top 5 seed in the West this year. I think they're really good. They're deep. They play defense. I think they're definitely better than Dallas, and maybe just slightly worse in a regular season setting than the Kings, because Sacramento can just run it up on you.
Yeah,
So
they
that's where
did
I'd put
force
them.
the Bulls to have a players-only meeting after the first game, which
That's
is
rough,
which
man.
is insane.
That might be record time. Has that ever
I
happened?
don't know if it's ever happened on game
players
1.
only meeting after game 1 of the season.
What do you think that? What do you think that lounge was like at CHGO?
I know. Poor
Shout out to our
CHGOs.
boys.
A
Tough scene.
lot of the chat's saying C, but I mean,
No, they're beating me.
I'm higher on the
Me too.
Thunder
Here's
than
what-
most people.
Here's what needs to happen: we put them B, and we drop Dallas to C.
Well, here's the thing. I have them in the same tier for the same reason. I think they have some okay players, some interesting. They have some holes, but they have one guy that just like does it every night in a way that nobody seems to be able to stop. I mean, Shea can't be stopped.
I know, and Luka and you the same argument. Luka and
Luka.
Kyrie. I mean, they are good.
New Orleans, they got a win, an impressive win over Memphis, actually.
This is a
I
good-
thought it was impressive.
This is a good one. I'm gonna say C, but their ceiling is I think B.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
agree with that.
remember, not that long ago that they were a 1 seed impressing everyone, but I think everyone would probably have them C for the same reason. We got to wait and see, is Zion and Brandon going to play together and play well together for a long enough period?
Do you know why they won this game, by the way?
Why is that?
Matt Ryan, Nuggets legend Matt Ryan, who got picked up like a week ago. He
I
wasn't
was
even through
always a
camp.
believer.
I'm sure you were a believer. And they pick him up. He goes in there and hits 3 straight threes in one stint. He was a plus 20 last night in 14 minutes. They made one big run in that game, and it was with Matt Ryan playing. I think that's incredible.
That definitely puts them in the C tier for me.
Okay, there you go.
They
That's all you
needed a
needed to
Matt
know.
Ryan explosion to win.
I think they're C.
I feel like they're a C that everyone wants to make a B or an A.
Yeah.
But they just
They've lost everybody's
to me,
goodwill.
I think they got to
well,
go.
I mean, a year ago this time,
yeah.
fast forward, a month from now, they were the best team in the West.
All right, one
Yeah.
more. We got to pick it up a
Number
little
one in the
bit.
West.
I got an A tier team for you guys. I got the Clippers an A. They had an impressive win last night. I know it's like fun to rag on the Clippers. I still love the matchup with Denver, but I don't know. I think I guess it was the Blazers. They smacked them. Though.
I
They were up 40.
have the Clippers in B, but you can put them in A if you want.
I'll put them in A. Although I don't know.
They were going up against the worst, a
you know
terrible
what?
team.
No,
man.
I'm not putting them in A because I
All
just
right.
yelled at everyone for doing this last year.
Moving
Enough
back
with the
down to B.
Clippers. I do wonder if chat thinks we sold New Orleans a little short.
No,
No, I honestly disagree with the chat. I'm fine disagreeing with the chat on that one. I do. New Orleans to me, like I'll buy them when they can string together 10 games.
Right. That's how I feel.
So we're putting them in B. We're putting them in B.
Let's put them in B,
I'll
bro.
tell you what.
Put them in B.
They're on A watch for me though. They're on A watch. Let's
you and that freaking GM.
maybe I was the
Maybe
secret
Adam
GM.
is the guy.
Maybe you don't know. All right, let's take a break, guys. On the other side, we're going to round this out. We still got the Lakers. We got the Warriors. We got Wembanyama and the Spurs. We'll do all that.
Guys, go to thednvr.com if you want to become a DNVR diehard. And there are so many reasons to become a DNVR diehard. First of all, you get a discount to all of our events that we do here at DNVR. And we have a Nuggets takeover coming up sooner than I even thought. It's
1 week?
yeah, a week from
Real soon.
Saturday.
Real soon.
DNVR takeover. You can get a season pass for the takeovers, but you can get a discount on DNVR takeovers if you're a DNVR diehard member. You also get discount on, tailgates, the other events that we have going on. You get a percentage off your tab here at the DNVR bar. You get discounts on merch. You get exclusive merch that's only available to DNVR diehards. You get a free t-shirt at sign up, then a free t-shirt every single year designed by D-Line. So many perks. Go to thednvr.com if you want more information. $7 a month. Great deal. Become a DNVR diehard today.
You got Thursday night football on. You got college football coming on Saturday. You got the NFL on. Hey, you guys know how this works. You're sports fans. And every game from every sport can be that much more fun with DraftKings Sportsbook. Get some skin in the game at the NFL with DraftKings Sportsbook. Bet $5 on any game this week to score $200 instantly in bonus bets. And DraftKings is not stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game day. This October, again, Thursday night, you might be thinking to yourself, no plans, it's a little sports bar down the street. Place a $5. Go have a beer. Watch some NFL teams and feel like you're in on the action, Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code DNVR. New customers can bet $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet $5 on the NFL. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit cpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, licensee partner Golden Gate Lake Charles, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
All right, we're back here. We got to kind of go a little quicker here to round out. But the Minnesota Timberwolves lost last night to the Toronto Raptors. I feel like there's a lot of hype around the Timberwolves. I feel like there's no hype around Toronto. Everybody's kind of like jumping off that board. And yet, Toronto beats them. Are we dropping them down? What tier are we going to put the Timberwolves in?
I think B.
That's probably just where they started. That's where they are.
I think I like them finishing as a B.
They got to prove it.
You could argue they got to prove it. I think it's a good roster, but they just lost to start. And I know it's one game. I'm okay with B, but they're on C watch for me.
They kind of have a tough opening, like to start to their season. And this is a team I would not be surprised if we look up and they're like 2-5.
Right.
And there's a little bit of panic just because you know how it is when you're the team that's trying to get over the hump. And
the New York Knicks would offer Julius Randle and Emmanuel quickly in a trade for Towns.
Oh, man.
You can see that coming.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the chat, we probably want to reorder at the end because that B tier is getting bloated.
It's getting a little
Well, it's because you put Dallas in there. That's why.
I'm saying, man, if Lively is a player, that gives them another player. They were like a...
That is inarguable.
I'm just saying.
That is a fact.
Is that a quote graphic?
They're the only team that has moved up a tier to me, in part because I looked at that and I just watched Lively roll and jump. That guy jumps like 50 inches in the air, man. He's 7-footer, jumps that high. I'm like, that gives Luka a lot
so
of
does
threat.
Jackson Hayes,
Powell.
bro.
Luka's a really good pick and roll player with a lob threat, is all I'm saying. The Wolves, B. I still think they're B, but here's what I'm going to say. The Wolves are on C watch.
I think they're on C watch. I mean, look, I think you can. Who do you think's a better basketball team, the Pelicans or the Wolves?
I think Pels are more talented,
Wolves?
but I can't. But the Wolves, or the Pelicans, I can't put money on. I can't bet on them. The Lakers. Oh, this one's gonna be fun. Here's my take. No way they're A tier. Just no way they're A tier.
Yeah, they're B tier.
I don't know. Is it their fault that they played Denver night one?
Yeah, are we forgetting they were a play-in team last year?
I'm going the other way.
They're B tier.
You think they're great? Denver's just
No,
not that
I
good.
think the Lakers are like the third best team in the West.
Are they A tier to you?
Yeah.
They're B tier to me. Me and Wendover. Are you B tier? Win?
Here's
They're
what
B
happens.
tier to me.
We're doing a tier list after one game, which
Yeah.
is scientific.
Well, it's also
and-
taking in. I mean, we're also.
But who did
we're bringing
who
into
did
this.
everyone else get to play on opening night?
That's true.
Not the Denver Nuggets.
This is so true.
That's my point.
I'm like, are the Clippers A tier? They beat the
They
Blazers.
beat the Blazers. Like we're like Anthony Davis can't guard like the third best player ever. They must be terrible. Like I don't know. We could go either way. It's been one game.
All right, Blazers F tier. That team, oh my God. I will tell you this. I never watched Scoot Henderson at Summer League. I never got to catch his game.
I didn't see him
Everybody
play
kept
either.
telling me how awesome he was. Preseason, I see a little bit, and then last night I see a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he looks to me like a rookie point guard.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So that's an F tier team.
Wait.
I had a small hope of like, oh man, maybe Ayton's got to go there. Then they have some pieces. Like, man, that team looks
Jeremy
terrible.
Grant's about a couple weeks away from requesting a trade.
Can we put the Lakers in A? Let's put the Lakers in A.
Wait, we said B, man.
Yeah, but I'm overriding you guys through sheer
can't-
force of will.
No, you can't do it. There's two of us
Shit.
one, man. I'm telling you. I'm sorry. We're gonna create all B tier teams.
And then
Look,
I got
it
it.
might be a mid. See, it might be mid, man. There might be a little bit of midness here. The Rockets.
F.
You're gonna go F on Rockets?
Yeah? You're not?
I thought D. Again, we only have 3 tiers. We have S, B, and F. You know what I mean? I think the Rockets,
The Rockets
are not.
suck.
Dude, no. Wizards suck. Blazers suck.
Didn't the Rockets lose by 20 last night to a bad team?
I think they did. Who'd they play?
I'm looking it up right now.
I can't remember, but they did
not
lose
watch
pretty
the
Who did the
game.
Rockets
handedly.
play?
I got it right here.
They lost
The-
to the Lakers.
oh, they didn't lose to it. They lost to the Magic.
Yeah.
Magic are great. No, wait till we get to the
Did you just
Magic,
call
you
them
guys.
great? Did you
Wait
just
till
call
guys
them
see where
Magic
I put
great?
The Magic. Let's wait till you guys
Were you
see.
about to say they're great?
I'm just saying. I like the Magic. I like the Magic.
Oh
I
my
think the
God.
Rockets are dear. Do you think F? All right, F tier. I got overridden. See how this works? Overridden here. F tier. We're going with the Spurs.
D.
I might put the Spurs in D.
D.
All right,
Our
here we
first
go.
D tier.
They almost beat a B tier team last night.
Damn it, move Dallas down. Fine, move him down. Move
No,
Dallas
keep
out of
him.
there.
Keep
Get
him.
him to C.
Keep
No,
him.
no.
Keep him.
No, you voted. We voted. Move Dallas
I
down
got
to C.
overruled. 2
It
to
doesn't-
3. Keep him in B.
I just moved. You moved me, okay? You conceded one. We're moving the Spurs with Wembanyama to D. Is there any chance that Wembanyama becomes great by the end of the year? Because you see the tools, but like...
I think it's going to take a while.
I think he could become pretty good by the end of the year, yeah. But right now it looks like he has no idea what to do.
Yeah.
But you can see it.
His shot and stuff is like, is he just is he a taller KD? We keep thinking he might be
He might
Kareem,
just be
but
a Porzingis,
he might just be a Porzingis type.
which wouldn't be a
This one's going to be interesting.
total disaster.
The Warriors.
Warriors are a B tier
B.
for me.
I go B for Warriors.
So we're not dropping them down worse than that.
You think C?
I just didn't. I
They're
mean,
clearly beat me.
I think we got to put the Wolves in C.
I can't believe we're going
Why do
backwards.
you second guess tiers more than anybody? You're second guessing tiers here.
All right, we're putting them in.
Too many opinions.
We're putting them
Too
in
many
B. We're
opinions.
putting them in B. The Utah Jazz. I think this is a sneaky bad team. Man,
I
the
think
Jazz.
they are clearly tier D.
Yeah, I think they're tier D.
That is tier D.
I think they're a bad team. The Celtics.
Celtics are A.
They are an A tier team.
A tier.
The Celtics are an A tier.
Clearly
Were you-
A.
Honest question, because it's early. They have new
Yeah.
pieces. Were you impressed with them?
No.
What did you think he was going to say?
I mean, it's
Sometimes
a good
you
win.
set
No,
that up, you
it's
know?
a good win on the road, but like the Celtics, all jokes aside,
I
they
thought Porzingis looked damn good.
For
Yeah.
the first quarter
They-
and the
he
last
did.
quarter.
And
He had
that's-
like two
that's
stretches.
a big part of why I'm a little less big on the whole thing. Here's the thing: the Celtics win a lot of games. They're a very, very good team. They're at least an A tier team. So they got like it's a good win on the road. I expect them to win, but their problems to me looked very, very similar. It was crunch time. Tatum was throwing up everywhere. I think Drew Holiday hit the bottom of the rim with a corner three, the bottom. So there was a lot. It was definitely Porzingis, you're open from 40 feet, cross our fingers.
and he made them.
So look, I think the Celtics are an A-tier team, and I think they're really good. But I saw the same problems they had last year.
All right, we got to be out of here in 10 minutes because we have a pregame. Let's
Why?
go. Raptors.
No idea.
They won. They beat
might-
Minnesota. C tier.
They might be C.
They're C tier.
I'm comfortable with C.
We're not going to spend too much time on them. All right, the Magic.
C.
I want to hear what Adam has to say.
They're probably C. I'll tell you what. They're in the Dallas tier.
Yeah, so C.
Yeah, they could go up though. They're on B watch. They're on B watch. I'm just telling you right now. I think in 2 weeks I'm going to move them up to B. You know the irony. We talked about the Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. You know this or that. They're both fun, man. They might actually become a little like Yoke Murray in terms of not like that great, but just that they like play together so well. So I kind of am in on it. The Miami Heat.
I put them in B.
I put them in B.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be.
This is such a legacy play.
They could, right. They actually could be significantly worse this year, but
whatever. Pacers.
C.
I like to see.
I like the Pacers in B. I think the Pacers are going to be one of the most fun, best offenses in the NBA this year.
Celtics are not S tier, bro.
Stop. Was it Laking Ball? What did you think?
No, it's a lot of the chat. They didn't make the finals.
Oh, man. Yeah. Come on. You guys are that low on the Pacers? I'm B. You're C?
C.
I mean, look, it was one game.
I know, but I just like the roster.
I mean, I'm not putting them in a
Bruce
tier.
Brown
I'm not
had
going
like the
off-
game of his life, man.
I'm not just going off that game. I'm saying
Shot
that's
6 and 9 from 3.
They have a personality to them. I just kind of like it. The Cavs.
I can't put the Pacers in the same tier as like Sacramento and LA and Miami. They're not there.
The Cavaliers.
Great question.
They beat the Nets by 1 point.
Yeah, the Cavs are tough.
Cavs are tough.
Go quick. First thing that comes to your mind. They're B tier. Come on.
B.
Yeah, they're probably B.
B.
They're a B tier team.
Probably B.
The Hornets.
They're D tier. Hornets
They're
are D tier.
definitely D tier.
That's where I would put
That's a big win for Nick.
Hey, they're D tier, Nick, and I think you should feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel really good.
No, I'm serious.
All right, here's a fun one.
They would have been an F tier last year.
All right, the next two teams we have not yet seen, the 76ers. Oh, I'm so curious.
C team.
With no James Harden, they're C tier.
There is a report that James Harden tried to get on
Yeah,
the
he
team
did.
plane.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, he
that
tried really hard.
Security stopped him.
Yeah, I'm sure that was.
he was really trying hard.
I would have said
I think
B.
they're
You guys
C.
both said C, so we'll go with it.
With no Harden, they're C. Come on.
Bucks.
A, if not S.
A tier.
They're A tier.
They're A, but I think to me, they're
They're
A tier.
A. They're A. They're A.
Here's how we got it, man. We got the champs in their own tier, and then you got teams
I
that
love
could
this.
take it from
You're
them,
right.
but they have to
You
go.
don't think one of these remaining teams is going to be S
they
tier?
gotta go take it
Wizards
from
is
them.
F tier. Pistons. All right, here's my take. I love Cade Cunningham. I'm a big fan. I think he's a good player.
Bolt it. You think they're best players who number one overall picks really good?
Cade, like people started tanking Cade's value.
He's going
though.
to take this as a take.
No, it is a take. People are
No,
like
it
low
isn't.
on Cade. Yes, they are. They're low on Cade. I told you guys we had this take the other day because Nate Jones put it on. He said, "Am I crazy for thinking Cade is better than Anthony Edwards?" And I do think that's a little bit crazy. But to me,
Well,
I'm
then
like,
what the hell are we talking about?
Cade's not talked about like Anthony Edwards.
I agree.
We didn't say he's going to be a sneaky MVP candidate this
agree.
year. This is what I'm saying. I think Cade might actually be one of the guys.
I love it. I'm just
So
saying
I'm
it's
higher on him. But
not
they're
a
a D
hot
tier
take.
team. They're a D tier team.
Yeah, they're D.
Come on, it's early days for them, man. It's early days. It's early days. The Hawks. Last one, the Hawks. Oh, wait, we have two more teams. No, we have three more teams.
I forgot Memphis.
Memphis is right there. The Hawks, I would say they are C tier.
I agree. C tier. Stamp it. You good?
Yeah, works for me.
Knicks.
Knicks to me,
This team is C tier. I got to tell you, Randall and Mitchell Robinson suck.
Dude,
Mitchell Robinson sucks so bad.
Going from Jokic
well,
to
they closed
Randall.
with Hartenstein last night.
Of course, that's their better center by a mile.
Yeah, they're C.
They're a C tier team. The Nets.
C.
I think they're a C tier team as well. Look at us. C is too full now. We should put we got to move the.
I mean, C,
gotta move the
C
mass.
theoretically should have the most.
You're
I
right.
agree with
Actually, we
that.
have
That
the
makes
middle
a lot of
finger. We have the
sense.
perfect thing. Yeah,
Makes a lot of sense.
The Bulls.
I might have to drop them to D.
I think they gotta go in deep, bro. They had a players-only meeting. Like they have more talent than those teams.
I feel
but-
bad for our CHGO brethren right now.
And then Memphis.
C.
Can they almost be like NA?
Yeah, they're C tier
You
team.
know,
I think
at
they
this
lost
current
at home.
moment, they're
Guys, they
C.
lost 5 games at home all of last year. They lost the opener to New Orleans.
They don't have Ja, but they don't have
Yeah.
Steven, but they also aren't getting them
They're
anytime
not getting
soon.
them anytime soon, and we're going to put them in C. You know what? I think we did pretty good. I think you guys are right. Look at that. It's perfectly balanced.
I kind of, I like it, man. I like it. I think we're going to see a lot of quibbling in B and C, but that's expected.
You know what? I love it. I love our graphic. And the real point of this exercise was you look at the A tier and you look at Phoenix, you look at Boston, and you look at Milwaukee. And coming into the season, all three of those teams found themselves in all sports books ahead of Denver. And I look at that and I go, are you kidding me? After this one game we just saw, how good Denver look, how their starters look. My take, Denver starters ended the year up here and everybody thought they were going to come back here and have to rebuild up to that. They kind of look to me like they're picking up where they left off. And if that's the case, yes, there are questions about their playoff rotation. The playoffs are 81 games away. Right now, the starters are the thing that are going to win them a lot of games, and nobody comes close to them. From what I've seen, nobody comes close to what Denver is doing right now. It's not about aggregate talent. It's about fit. It's about connectedness. And Denver, to me, looks like they are going to pick up, from that department, pick up where they left off.
Yeah, and I think if you guys had to pick a team from A tier and put them into S tier, if you had to pick one, I'd probably say Milwaukee, but it remains to be seen because it's a new team. The Celtics, I don't know, man.
I just wouldn't. This is the thing, is I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't. I cannot. I just can't put another team in S tier.
No.
They got to prove it.
They got to prove
Yeah.
it, baby, and I love it. Look at us, guys.
Smug as ever.
This is how we're supposed to be this year. Believe it. Believe it. Don't be afraid to embrace who you are. The champs, the best team in the NBA. Guys, if you're watching this, in the comments, let us know. Do you agree, disagree with the list? Is there a team out there that most outraged you about how we slotted them in? Let us know. Blame vote. Hit the like button for us on the way out. Tomorrow night, we're going to be here right at the DNVR bar. If you don't have a place to watch the game, come here. We've got giveaways. We've got book giveaways that we're going to be doing. I think we have like some other like giveaways that we're going to be doing, like jersey and t-shirts and different things like that. And it's just going to be a good time. We hope to see everybody. Oh, we have super chats.
Let's tear through them. Dylan McLeod checking in. Game 1 left me feeling so cocky. I've been chirping at Lakers fans since
Good.
Tuesday.
Keep doing it.
Same. They love it, by the way, so keep it up. Dylan McLeod again. After Tuesday night, I saw Lakers fans saying they can win the championship as long as they avoid the Nuggets.
I'm telling you, this is honestly, I think the big takeaway from the game is that everybody, including Lakers fans, are looking at the route. We've used to be there. Oh, but we just got to avoid this one if it breaks right.
You could beat everyone else.
Now
but
the Nuggets look at it and go, man, everybody better avoid Denver.
Josh Barnett from down under. That's how they sound, right? Smiling through it all. Can't believe this is our life.
Adios, everybody. Avs are up next. Come check them out.
Scoop.
We all silly like the mayor.